I think there's something you should know about me. I just happen to... Let's go bowling!
Hey Aussie gamers and honorary Aussie gamers from around the world, welcome to episode 99. Today is Tuesday the 13th of October 2015 and you're listening to the Aussie Gamers Express podcast, the podcast that gives you honest and down-to-earth verbal diarrhea. I am your host, LewkOne, and joining me this week is my good friend Red. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good man, I'm known to give the shits. But wow, man, episode 99. First of all, big congratulations to the Aussie Gamers family.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 99, one away from the big milestone, 100, which a lot of podcasts don't end up seeing. So we've done really well. So we can all give ourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah,
I can't though,
very,
I've got a
very
sore
proud.
neck. All right, before we start, here is this week's show in preview. First up, we'll do game talk. After that, we'll go and do some news. And this week in the news, we've got Metal Gear Solid style break-ins, Far Cry Primal, Halo 5 Gold status, Fallout 4 size and specs, a jailed Swatter, and Rocket League DLC. After that, we'll do What's That Sound? And last week's, we'll clarify that after we talked about it a little bit last week. And smack you up with a new one. After that, we'll do Gaming University. Time to get schooled on the topic of Doom.
Lovely.
Yeah, you'll be happy with it. I reckon there's some good stuff in there. After that, Red will close the show with Shout. And that'll be it before the massive big 100 for next week. So first up, Red, give us your game talk.
Well, considering we've got a good fortnight now, considering our special edition of EB podcast last week, I've played a fair bit. So, Donald Bradman, I'll get that out of the way, played that for probably 3 or 4 hours.
Got some longevity out of that one for you.
Hey?
You got some longevity out of that one.
Well, yeah, cricket season's about to start, you see now, the footy season's over and done with, so it's just going to spur me on to play it a little bit more every now and again. And, yeah, still simplistically beautiful and hard. Rocket League, you and I have teamed up. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. There's been good wins and pain in the ass losses, and then just overall frustration.
Oh yeah, I love to get frustrated at that game, don't I?
Yeah, the thing is, the better you get at it, the more frustrated you get because you think, fuck, should have done that. Fuck, could have got that in.
That's exactly right. It's gone beyond the stupid fun, and it's getting really competitive.
It is, isn't it? And people are getting better. You're having to learn how to fly. You've seen me do it a couple of times. You go, oh, red. And I'm like, yeah, pulled one off. I've only tried 88 times beforehand and missed.
Yeah.
But you tend to get those ones and you go, oh, yeah, wicked. But, yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. I enjoy the competition of it. I don't sit there for 2-3 hours at a time like I used to now. I'll have a game or 3 in between more serious games, if you will. So it probably has about a half an hour lifespan every time I turn it on. So that's not too bad, considering it's PS Plus game. I had some fun with the Lego game, man. Batman 3 Beyond Gotham.
Oh, yeah.
I actually forgot how fun it was.
Yeah.
To play a good Lego game.
Once you play one and you smash one for a while, you need a break. But when you come back to them after a while, you enjoy yourself again.
Yeah, exactly right. Because I spent way too long on Marvel superheroes, so it's just
Did you end up platinuming that?
Yes, man, I did. Took me
stuff.
103 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I made a few mistakes along the way. Oh, that's what the game counter says. Like, probably Xavier probably put 20 hours through that play run.
Oh, yeah, just mucking around. Yeah.
Yeah, building shit. This month's bloody PS Plus title, super fucking hard, stupid, multi-fucking super meat boy shit.
I didn't let that game get the better of me. I turned it off before it got too hard.
Well, I'm at a point now where it's really hard. I think it's set out in either 5 or 6 worlds of 20 levels, then a boss.
Yeah.
I've beaten 4.5 worlds, so I'm pretty proud of myself there. because well, Sean's not on the podcast this week for me to hang the shit on because he was there going, oh, I'm going to fucking nail this, rah, rah, rah. It's like, oh, he's saying, I'm struggling with the second boss as I started the game. And then I got to the second boss and beat it with one of his tips, actually. He gave me a tip on how to get right up to the top.
Yeah.
So I used his tip on the level he was struggling on, got past it, and just kept flying. So that didn't make him good. He wasn't well impressed with that. You and I ventured back into Sniper Elite 3 for an authentic playthrough.
Oh, yeah.
The first 2 levels, we're lucky to finish the level with any ammo or life.
Oh, that level, man, that was probably a good... Oh, look, it's probably deceptive how long it took, but I would say that was probably an hour.
Hour to an hour and a half? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Probably 90 minutes.
About 80 minutes worth, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just... We were scrounging around at the end there, just struggling to have enough ammo and resources to get through, but we got through. And afterwards we're like, oh, that's enough for now. There's too much anxiety.
We just flew through the first level. Ah, should be right.
Yeah, the first one
goes fucking whammo. So look, $26 was on special. Well worth it considering it's Game of the Year or Ultimate Bundle. So we've got all the weapons, all the DLC weapons that we can use during the campaign, which was never an option first playthrough. And yeah, I just love being back in it. I enjoyed it thoroughly the first time I played it, and now we've got it again, so we can enjoy it all over again.
It's a very good co-op game.
Well, this generation's almost of an age now where we're going back and playing games that we originally were playing because we played the absolute shit out of them when they first came out because there's nothing else to play.
Yeah.
So now we can actually go back for the enjoyment aspect, not for the major draws, not to play something new. Next cab off the ranks, Blood Bowl, one of your personal favourites for the week, Luke.
Yeah, I don't like Blood Bowl.
I don't mind it. Very gridiron in the aspect of, well, you've got to score touchdowns in order to win, but also very slow-paced game. It's stop and start, think, which I don't mind, but the whole Warhammer Games Workshop aspect of it throws another cog in the another bloody spanner in the works, and you've got to really, really think about it. The most fun I had was actually playing against you because I wasn't using my campaign created team. I actually got to use a fully fledged High Elves team, and that really worked for me.
And you won.
Yeah, and I won. I was trying to teach you how to beat me, in all honesty. Giving you tips along the way on how to kick my ass. But that didn't really work. Another thing I had fun with for probably about 3 hours was the beta for Hardwired Rivals.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The Twisted Metal cross Rocket League cartoony car shoot 'em up game. It didn't feel very limited as far as the beta goes, giving 3 maps, 3 game modes, and the game modes changing every 24 hours. 2 vehicle selection, so that was alright. I was never going to go the tank anyway, too heavy and lumbery. But there was some enjoyment there, and I seriously think it'll be a PS Plus game. If it's not, I'll balk at anything over about $13.
Yeah, it's very much like Twisted Metal, but it just doesn't have that sort of
grit.
Yeah, it doesn't have that gritty sort of feel to it. It's a very clean style, family-friendly looking shootery game in a car.
Yeah, very colourful and particly, you know.
Could be good. Could be fun. Big maps and stuff.
I've also enjoyed a few games of NBA 2K16 this fortnight, in between travelling up and spending some time with yourself. That's just a beautiful game, and it's the fifth game in a row in the franchise that I've played, and it just keeps getting better and better. And last but not least, Metal Gear Online.
Oh, yep.
With unrendered graphics.
Yeah, that's the worst part about it for me. That's the thing that probably kills it for me, is when you get stuck on those maps that don't load for us. It doesn't happen for everyone, but it happens for you. It's happened for you and I. And yeah, so the rain, sometimes the rain doesn't render. So when the rain's on the screen, you just get big black squares instead of the actual water, and you can't see. And the foliage, all the the flora doesn't load, so it all just looks like a game of Tearaway, as you
It's
said.
all the same colour, so you don't know whether you're camoed or if you're hiding or anything like that.
Yeah, it's all
Takes away some of the
cutouts.
most important aspects of the game, I think.
Yeah, that sort of ruined it for, because whenever we got those maps, I didn't want to play them because it looked crap. It didn't play properly. It was, I didn't like it.
Fair to say, it needs some work.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely needs some work, other than the obvious problems we have with the graphics and everything. And just to make note, I've deleted the whole game application and update, re-downloaded the update and the Metal Gear Online section of it, and still got the same problem. So I'm unaware as to what the causing factor is. So if you're out there and you're having those sorts of issues, I don't know what else to suggest. There's not even a real lot of threads going around the net. Only people whinging about it. No real fixes for it that I've seen.
It's probably just one of those things you're going to have to wait for a patch.
Yeah. It's funny, though. Everyone's going to have to grab the patch, but it's probably only going to affect 10% of the players. But they'll just incorporate it with other fixes, I would assume.
Yeah.
So that's my big fortnight in gaming.
All right, I'll quickly go through a couple of things that I've done differently. Red, I think you've played this as well. You might have accidentally omitted it, but the big one, Star Wars Battlefront, the beta was on in the last week, and we've been playing that. And I've got to say, when I first booted it up, the graphics is obviously the first thing that you're always going to notice, and they are beautiful. It looks so fantastic. Look, the world, the weapons, your character, the scenery, it all looks very polished and very nice. And I played it on the PS4 and also tried it out on the Xbox One. And although the resolutions are different, I believe it's 900p on PlayStation 4 and 720p on the Xbox One. I don't think they're going to be the final figures, but that's what they were for the beta. And they didn't really look any different at all. They look pretty much exactly the same, if you ask me. They both ran really smoothly. I would probably say that they were a pretty constant 60 frames a second. And there was a couple of different game modes that I tried out. There was the single-player survival on Tatooine. And that's the first thing that I tried out just on my own, and that was good fun. Got into a couple of co-op matches with yourself. Oh, no, did I do that with you? I don't think I did, Red.
Nah, not the survival.
I did that with Jason and someone else, can't remember. Sorry about that. And that's good fun. It was locked on the easy or normal difficulty, so it was stupidly easy, but it was still fun to try out. And there was also 5 collectibles within that level as well, which I had fun looking for. And there's a video up on our YouTube channel of where they all were if you couldn't find them. Also, there was the typical death match, or whatever you want to call it, online multiplayer version as well, which was quite fun to play. It took a little while to get used to, but there was a couple of good weapons that I unlocked, like the I think it was the Tuscan. What were they called? The Tuscan. Oh, those crazy looking dudes with sniper rifles. Anyway, I think I got one of their sniper rifles, and the blasters and all that. The sound effects, the music, the graphics, everything just all works together to say this is a genuine Star Wars experience. It is absolutely fantastic. Whether or not it'll be a massive success for a lot of people, I don't know. And the only reason I question that is because there's no campaign. But there looks like there's a lot of things to do, because in the beta, it had all of the different things you could do up on the screen, but they were just locked. So there was a couple of things on there that looked quite interesting. There's obviously going to be some sort of speeders that you can jump on, and all different types of co-op things that you can do, which might give it a fair bit of life. So I might. I think that it'll be a good game, but yeah, just that whole omission of a single player campaign or even a co-op campaign, it's a little bit strange. I'm not sure there, but anyway, I really enjoyed playing the Battlefront beta, and I believe it's over now. So whoever gave it a go, yeah, let us know if you want to pop some messages through to us what you thought about it. That'd be good. But I'll move on. I've also played a fair bit of Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. I've finished through Drake's Fortune. Also Among Thieves. I'm also about halfway through the third game, Drake's Deception, and it's absolutely amazing. Now, the first game looks amazing because of the changes that they've made, and it's the oldest game, etc. The second game looked fantastic first time round, and really takes on the shine from the upscaling and the 60 frames. The third game, obviously being the newest one, and probably the best looking from the get-go, looks absolutely stunning. The jungle sections, I believe, are the biggest test of how good they're going to look, because of all the lighting coming through the trees and how good the foliage is, and the movements and all that. And it goes real well. It is absolutely fantastic. I also saw Sony put out a statistic saying that approximately 80% of all PlayStation 4 owners have never played any of the Uncharted games. And I think that comes heavily from the fact that last generation was dominated heavily by Xbox 360. That's who won last generation of console wars, regardless of your fanboyisms or anything like that. Sales did all the talking there, and because of that reason, when the PlayStation 4 was released, a lot of people jumped ship because the PlayStation 4 has sold so many consoles. I believe at one stage it was 2-1 for Xbox One.
It almost still is.
Yeah, so all those people that jumped ship from Xbox 360 had never played these games, have no idea what they are. I recommend, if that is you, get the Nathan Drake collection, because these games are fantastic, and it'll be an awesome lead up until Uncharted 4 comes out early next year. So I recommend that. Good game. Very good game.
You'd nearly be ripping yourself off to play Uncharted 4 without the first three. I know there's a lot of games that we play jumping in the third in the series or the fourth in the series sort of thing, but you really want to get to know Nathan Drake.
Yeah, but
all that.
And I would argue that see, sometimes when there's 3 games previous to a game coming out that you want to try, it might be a bit of a grind, because that's 3 full games to play. The Uncharted games aren't a grind. They're really fun to play, and they're not stupidly long. I think probably the longest one out of all of them would be 3, and that would probably set you back about 13 hours worth of debt just playing the story. Yeah. So the first one's the shortest, then second one's a little bit longer, and your third one's the longest of the 3. But they're not going to set you back too much time. You can power through them, and they're enjoyable gameplay. So it's worth
And it is
playing.
convenient that it's on. They're all on the home of the PS4 now, because like the likes of Fallout 4 coming out, we go, oh well, we got to put another playthrough Fallout 3. Then you've got to dust off the PS3 or the 360 or go onto Steam and. You're getting the game collection, like the Mass Effects, Andromeda's going to come out soon. Well, the only real option I have is to play them all on PC and then convert across to the PS4. I just think having the Uncharted trilogy, Nathan Drake collection, put all together on one, a good couple of months, 3 or 4 months before 4 comes out, I think it's just the perfect setting for that series.
Yeah, and it's probably one of the best remasters on the PlayStation 4 to date, I would say. And one of the best collections as well. Now, one more positive before I move on to a negative that I want to mention about the Nathan Drake collection is... Well, actually, I think I've already said that positive. I think I've gone through them all anyway. So the fact that they're all together... Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Got it back. There's no big download as well. If you're doing if you want to play the Nathan Drake collection on day one, you may want to wait for a 1 gig update. That was a day one update, but you don't need to play that. It is literally all on the disc. So you're not going to be downloading 16 to 20 gigabytes to cover up the bits and pieces that didn't fit on the disc or anything like that. So that's all on the disc. But yeah, the one thing that I want to mention that it's probably the biggest negative is no multiplayer. Now, the original Uncharted didn't have multiplayer, but 2 and 3 came out with multiplayer, and they've not put any of them in for the Nathan Drake collection. I would have quite liked that they at least put in Uncharted 3's multiplayer, just the one, but they've not put any multiplayer in there, which is a bit disappointing, because I would have liked to have given that a go, because I didn't play much of it on the PS3. And it would have went well, I think, on the PS4, but that's not to be. So that's one sort of negative there and a whole bunch of positives. So I'd still recommend getting it.
That's a fair call. I played a bit of Uncharted 2's multiplayer because it was more co-op-y sort of wave defense with objectives intertwined on these maps. And back then I never had the likes of yourself and, yeah, well, basically you to play these sorts of games with, so it didn't last really long with me. So, yeah, I agree with your opinion there also.
Yeah, so anyway, but that's all good. I definitely recommend getting that one. And moving on, yeah, played a bit of Blood Bowl 2 with you. Now, I can accept that that's a good game. It's a very well-made game. The graphics look nice, and it plays well. It's just, yeah, it's going to be for a specific audience, and I don't fall into that category because it is turn-based. It's like a dice-rolling kind of game where you're moving your set squares on the gameplay board. But yeah, it is the way it's made is directed at people that at least have a little bit of knowledge. It does have a tutorial on all that sort of stuff, but it still doesn't make it very accessible for someone like me. If you take maybe a game like Hearthstone, is like your it's like your Magic the Gathering, but for the masses. Yeah. They made it very easy to understand.
Highly accessible, yeah.
But whereas Blood Bowl, I don't believe I know they're completely different types of games, but Blood Bowl, I think, still is for those people that would have played it on a tabletop. And I think those people that did play tabletop Blood Bowl would be very happy with it, because I think it stays very true to what it has been originally, but just transformed across onto a digital format. As you said, Rocket League, enjoyed playing a bit of that. Scoring some goals feels nice. Sniper Elite 3, the Ultimate Edition, played a couple of levels on the realistic difficulty. That was good fun. Thank God we got that on special. That was a real good deal.
Fantastic.
Now, PS Plus game that we've just gotten our hands on is Unmechanical Extended. So I've been playing through that. Now, that isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. It is much nicer than I thought. The controls are really smooth, and the character and the graphics and all that work really well. So what it is, think of it as a side scroller, but you play as this little robot ball head thing with a helicopter on top of your head. So you're basically floating around everywhere, flying around. And you've essentially just got this mission to get from, just to solve all these puzzles. And it's a little bit sort of what's the word I want? Cryptic with what's actually going on. And you'll probably find out at the end. I haven't finished it yet. But the puzzling in that is actually quite fun to do. When you start off, the puzzles are quite easy. You've got to fly around, pick up this, pop it down on this switch, go through the doors and things like that. They slowly get a bit trickier to the point where when you finally do work them out, you feel a sense of achievement. But then it gets to the point as well where it starts to get really hard and the puzzles stop making sense. And it gets really hard to work out, by thinking outside the box or outside the square. It gets really hard to work out what you need to do. And there's a little button that you can press. I think if you press triangle, he pops up a little thought bubble above his head. And it's supposedly a little hint. But those hints are so
vague.
They're very vague. They don't really help too much. There was one puzzle there, it looked like a big target. And there was all these little buttons that you could press, which would change the colour and the pattern on all these segments of the target. And it took me 2 goes, as in like 2 sessions of sitting down for probably an hour trying to work it out. And on the second go, I got it and got through. I still to this date have no idea how I worked it out. I don't know what I did, man. I was just pressing shit left, right, and centre for ages and ages and ages. And just process of elimination, I accidentally got the right combination. And what that combination was, I couldn't tell you. So if I had to do it again, it would be just as hard.
And perseverance pays off.
Yeah, but so the puzzles are getting a little bit silly like that. Now, there's one that I'm up to now that I'm stuck at where I've got to put these things down. They look like batteries, and the different batteries have got different powers. And then there's screens in front of these buttons that you've got to put them down on that have like the same battery meter on it. But I can't work out what the puzzle is as well, and I'm stuck there and have no idea what I'm doing. So I don't know if I'll go back to it because it's getting a bit frustrating now. But other than that, though, it is good gameplay. If you feel like playing those puzzles, it'll be a good game, good enjoyable game, which is not bad for a free PS Plus game. I think that does that about cover it.
Is Destiny going to fly under the radar?
Well, we've been playing Destiny. You got the Taken King.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I was just about to, because I was just thinking then. I'm thinking, I know I have that's the end of my list, but I'm sure we've been playing something else.
I tried to let it slip under the radar. Give you the option of hammering me. You,
the guy who hates Destiny, are now playing it again.
Yes, I'm a Destiny tragic.
Well, that's what I want to hit you up about this, and I think this is the right forum for it. Why is it that when you're finished with a game, you develop a hate of it and you just despise it? Why does that happen?
I don't know. It's probably because I'm a very impulsive person.
But we had so much fun playing Destiny back when it was new and all that sort of stuff. But then, and the same thing happened with Call of Duty and other games as well, where you play them to excess to the point where you just don't like them anymore. You despise them.
I'm probably sick of them. Because, as you know me more personally than a lot of other people, I spent so much time on Black Ops 2 that I missed out on so many games. And now if I probably subconsciously tell myself I don't like it and I constantly rag on it, probably 50% of the time I'm taking the piss out of it to get a rise out of someone else, which will probably come across why I dislike it so much. But I probably convince myself that I don't like it anymore. No, that I won't go back to it. And I was just talking about it with Snoogans and Weeksy the other day, and just talking about Destiny again. And the one thing you have to admit, regardless of anything, and coming from me, I have to admit it as well, but I've never denied it, it is a very solid first-person shooter. It's just, you aim down sights, you shoot, you get the job done. And it's, with the strategy of the boost jump and everything like that, and the RPG aspects, it's just very solid. There's a lot of things I still disagree with, like, went and bought the Taken King in the Taken King case, and it's just an original Destiny disc with a code.
Is it at least printed differently?
Nope.
Oh, wow.
That's why I thought I got sent home with the wrong disc.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so it's just you're just buying Destiny with a download code.
And, I even remember I went to the midnight release for Destiny down at EB, and paid me $110 back then, because there was no competition around. And they can go in, pick it up for $78, and it comes with the original game, the two $40 expansions, they're $22 expansions, so $45 worth of expansions, and the new Taken King for $70. So you're basically rebuying everything you've already bought. It's not really friendly for the fans. That's what
talking to Jason last night, Rep Premier, and how annoying it is, the fact that the people that have been there since day one and got the expansions, we've paid the most for it.
Yeah, and they had the gall to turn around and release like a $170 version of the Taken King with a strange coin and whatnot in it.
Why reward people that have never played your game before by selling all of it for $70 and then make us pay full price to upgrade it? Because if I want the Taken King, I have to pay $69.95.
And we're currently taking donations.
Why not? Why not give me, because I've been there from day one and bought all the previous shit, give me a discount. Not me, us. I mean people in my position. Give us a discount. Give us an upgrade cost rather than a new purchase price. That's a disheartening thing, and I think they'd probably sell a lot more if they'd taken a different approach. But I'm no.
And Activision's done it before with Ghosts and whatnot. Digital upgrade, $15. If you had to pay $15 or $25 for the Taken King, you'd have it by now, correct?
I would have it by now, absolutely. Yep.
There you go. So many people that have been put off. I know they've probably made their money back threefold on 2.0. So they should incentivise it. But then you're going to have the people come out and whinge that they fucking already bought it and everything like that. But it should have been from day one.
They should have done it from day one. Yeah, that's it.
Because Jason's paid over $300 for Destiny.
Yeah, I know.
He has everything. He has all the collectibles and the memorabilia, and it really is one of his most loved games. So that's not a knock. But I'm just saying, for fuck, he paid $170, $180, or even the $220 one, I think, to get the Ghost originally. Even people that bought the Ghost editions or the limited editions should have got 2.0 for basically nothing. Seriously.
Yeah, so, yeah, look, I've just been playing the last couple of days a bit of Destiny, but I've been playing the House of Wolves and the Dark Below DLCs that I didn't get around to back when they came out. And now I've hit the level cap, which is 34. So if I don't purchase the Taken King, there's nothing more than I can really achieve. So it's a $69 purchase to continue playing it. So whether or not I want to do that, I don't know. I'm still up in arms about it, really. But,
very different game now, though.
Yeah, it does. There's a lot of changes, but it's,
but you wouldn't see the full extent of them either. I can't believe I didn't even realise there was a level cap for those who haven't purchased Taken King. It makes sense though, because you need the Taken King gear in order to get a higher light level.
Yeah.
But,
so I mean, there's a lot of games coming out, and that's the thing. Do I want to spend $70 now on Destiny that I'm only going to play for a couple of weeks because I've got Halo 5 coming out, I've got Tomb Raider coming out, there's Fallout 4. Do I really want to be spending $70 on something that might get shelved very soon?
Really?
That's the thing. Maybe next year they might drop the price, put it on special. If you guys are keen to get back into it, I might jump in with you. Because I definitely do want to play it. Because I do like the whole getting the gear, and I'd like to level up to 40 and get those high light levels and things like that. But yeah, I just don't know about dropping $60, $70 right now when I've got so much other stuff coming out that deserves my attention, probably more so.
Yeah, and I will say, I was very, very humbled. I got it as a birthday gift, so it wasn't something I chose to spend 70 of my own dollars on, so thank you, Weeksy. So, yeah, that made it a lot easier to go get, if you know what I mean. Because, yeah, I've got Fallout and Black Ops, and there's not much more that I'm gagging at the bit for a day one purchase between now and Christmas other than those two, so...
Actually, I forgot to mention that one on my list of things that I need to be playing, and which is Black Ops 3, which is probably one of my most anticipated Call of Duties ever. So that's on the list as well to give a bit of attention to.
Yeah, I'm hoping to drag you into zombies.
Yeah, well, it's Black Ops Zombies. It's Treyarch Zombies. That's the one that I liked. The other ones I haven't liked. They're just shitty tack-ons, I think. Well, they were. It
was just a purchasable add-on, wasn't it? They didn't give it to us from the get-go, and it was the promise and the illusion with all the videos and everything like that coming out. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for Game Talk. I think we'll move on to this week's news. Right, first up in the news, I've got one from 2014. So this is an old news item, and it's got nothing to do with video games. Go figure. But it's quite funny, and I'm going to put the link up because there's a bit of a video that goes along with this one, and it's hilarious. But what it is, it's, as I said in the lead up to the show at the beginning there, it's a Metal Gear Solid style break-in. It's just a box. So anyway, from April 2014, I don't even know why I found this on the internet, but a burglar has broken into a restaurant called Panchero's Mexican Grill. And he or she, I don't know, because his disguise was so fantastic, has broken into the restaurant wearing a box over their head. So in the CCTV footage, which is up on YouTube, and they'll have the link in the show notes, but they get in wearing the cardboard box on their head, full-on snake style. It looks like that's what they're trying to do to cover their identity, get in and make away with some goods. Fortunately for the restaurant owner, they didn't actually get away with anything, but they did cause a bit of damage getting into the store. But I guess this might be one that you'll laugh at, trust me, when you actually see it happen. It's hilarious. Clearly, this one was not just a box. But that's it for that one. All right, we'll move on. I've got some Halo 5 news now. Now, Halo 5 Guardians has just gone gold. Now, Red, do you remember what that means?
It's printing.
Yes, the game's complete, it's finished, and is now again either being put onto discs or is already on disc. So it's officially completed, and people have been getting their hands on it already. Even though the game doesn't release yet till a bit later on this month, people have got their hands on it on the street, and the notes on the back of the box says that Halo 5 requires to have up to 60 gigabytes of storage space in order to play the game. That's massive. Now, if you've got the original 500 gigabyte Xbox One and you've been using your console, as in buying games and installing them, you might struggle to be able to fit 60 gigabyte on there. So make sure you've got some room for when that comes out. It's currently unclear as to how much of that amount is actually going to be on the disc, because we know Microsoft in the past has been known for putting, like 20 or 30 gigabytes on the disc and then give you a massive day one update, which then, might be the multiplayer aspect or something like that, which is what they did with the Master Chief Collection. But it's going to be at least 60 gigabytes of storage required. Well, Blu-ray's only 50 gig, isn't it?
Yep.
So you're gonna be hit up for at least a 10 gig update, or there might be room for growth. So it might be compressed or something like that. There you go. So make sure you got the room come October 27 when it's released, so that way you can install it and play it straight away.
Do you reckon any of that 60 gig will be reserving space within the directory for future DLC?
Nah, I don't think they do that. I don't know.
Because as I said, I deleted COD AW off my hard drive the other day in order to fit on Destiny and Batman, and I went into the directory to delete it, and it was about 63 gig, I think. And right. I've downloaded 3 map packs, and they were 15 gig each. So, and I know the game was originally around the 55 to 60 gig mark, but if my maths was correct, you'd think it'd take up 90 odd gig on your hard drive.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Look, maybe those updates, those patches, the 15 gigabytes aren't entirely new content.
Yeah,
a lot of that might be changing current things. So a lot of that might be replacing files.
Yeah,
and there might only be a couple of gig of new stuff that they're actually putting in. So that might be the reason behind why.
Because I was always convinced it was going to take up 100 gig on my hard drive with 4 map packs. But
yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Anyway, my last piece of news before we get on to yours, Red. Far Cry Primal was announced in the last week as well. What are you laughing at?
You almost said Far Cry 4.
No, I don't know what I was going to say.
Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5? No, it's definitely not Far Cry 5. But yeah, Far Cry... No, maybe I'm just saying stupid things. I don't know. But anyway, Far Cry Primal has been announced, as well as given a release date, which is a bit strange for something that's... For it to get a release date straight away at the same time of getting your announcement, but it's the release date for Xbox One and PS4 is going to be the 23rd of February 2016, so early next year. PC is going to be a month later, as it usually is, so they can get that all sorted out, because essentially they'll be porting the console version across, and it'll probably be broken.
And it won't work.
Yeah. The tagline for Far Cry Primal is "Welcome to the Stone Age," and in the trailers that have been released as well, there's things like saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths and things like that, and it looks like you're playing as like Neanderthals or original man. And a lot of reviews or previews have been coming out on the internet saying that this might be one of the best yet. I don't know about that, but it's definitely not a sequel, a direct sequel to the Far Cry series. I put this one down to be something like Blood Dragon, sort of like just a small offshoot version to tie people over and make some money in between the big Far Cry title of obviously the next one being Far Cry 5, which will be probably early 2017, I would say. So this is going to sort of...
So you reckon this is a filler?
I reckon it's a filler, absolutely. Yeah, it's like a standalone DLC is what I would call it. I don't know anything like that. This is all speculation, just my opinion, but that's what I think this is what this is. And that's what Blood Dragon was. But Blood Dragon
justifies a real quick release date.
Yeah, and Blood Dragon, I haven't played it yet, thanks to Nico. He has given me a copy of it to play, but I haven't played it yet. But I've heard a lot of good things about it. So these offshoot games aren't going to be bad. I would imagine Primal to be actually pretty good. From what I've seen, it looks pretty neat. Hunting massive megalodons and... Oh, wait, not megalodon. What the fuck's a megalodon? Dinosaur. Oh, that'd be alright. I meant to say mastodon. But these big beasts anyway would be fun. Wonder if there'll be dinosaurs in it, do you reckon?
Well, that's quite possible in that.
People have been crying for dinosaurs. But look, if they're going for realism, though, I don't think there were dinosaurs around when humans were on the Earth. I think we came quite a few million years. Was it 1.5 million years later?
Yeah, because dinosaurs were 26 million years ago.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I'm just making it up, trying to remember from what I know from the Jurassic Park movies. But Far Cry Primal is going to feature a day-night cycle which will greatly affect hunting and overall gameplay. And there will not be any guns or vehicles, which could be very different for a Far Cry game, because there's always been guns and vehicles. But there's going to be things like bow and arrow, spears, knives, things like that, which will still be pretty cool. It looks really good, and I'll be definitely sinking my saber teeth into this one when it drops in February.
Great.
You interested in it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, if it is one of these, as you speculate, a filler, I'd very much be hoping it's not going to be full retail. Because Blood Dragon was never full retail.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I agree with you. But I mean, it all depends on the scope and where they're trying to go with it. It may be a full-style release. It might be like Assassin's Creed, what was that one called? The one that was on the PS3, Xbox 360.
Brotherhood?
No, the one that came out alongside Unity.
Oh, Rogue.
Rogue, like it's still a full game, but it's like your offshoot sort of style game thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all speculation. It's looking good. The graphics look fantastic, and I'm really keen for it. Although I think it'll be on the exact same engine of Far Cry 4. I don't think we'll see too many different mechanic-wise.
Nah, if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yes. All right, Red, you take us away with your news items.
Well, yeah, as a lot of the loyal followers would have already seen, we've already put a post up on the Facebook page with the PC system requirements for Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
But real quickly, so minimum Windows 7 through 10 with a 64-bit OS, Intel Core i5 or the AMD Phenom 2 with 3 GHz or equivalent, 8 GB of RAM and 30 GB of hard drive space, and also a minimum of NVIDIA GTX 550 or the Radeon HD 7870.
Ooh, I meet the minimum for that. That's exactly what I have.
Which one, the Radeon or the whole lot?
The NVIDIA GTX 550 is what I have.
Ah, nice, yeah. And the recommended now, Windows 7 through 10, 64-bit, obviously. Intel Core i7 4790, 3.6 GHz, or the AMD FX with 4.7 GHz or equivalent, 8 GB RAM, 30 GB hard drive, and the video card itself, NVIDIA GTX 780, 3 GB, or the AMD Radeon R9.
Yeah, see, the only thing that I don't have for the recommended is the video card. Everything else on my PC fits the mold.
Is it the PC card, the PC card, the graphics card, is that what heats? Is that why we have cooling?
No, not necessarily. The CPU, it'd probably be a big thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you might be able to set up specific things like cooling systems for your video cards as well. But I'm old school. I've got fans in my PC.
What is this liquid cooling?
Yeah, liquid coolings for motorbikes, cars, and other sort of engines.
So anyway, where we're really interested, personally. On our consoles, the game's going to require between 28 and 35 of disk space, and this is depending on territory and language options. I don't know, because as I know with Thai people, they have to say about twice the amount of words as what we have to do to say the equivalent phrase. Nick loves my Thai.
Do you speak Thai?
Only one phrase.
Go on, give it to us.
Well, basically, they don't have a word for bullshit, so they go, Hamlea, do lelo, how sick jum fat magoya. That means, that direct translation is the shit literally flows from your mouth.
That's awesome.
Nick loves it. You know, you've
even got the accent and the elongated sounds. Well done.
Yeah. So that's probably why some languages take up the extra disk space. That's just speculation on my behalf, and a very funny one at that.
Yeah.
But, of course, here in Australia, we don't support preloading. Why would we want to be up with the rest of the world? So, downloads will commence 12:01 a.m. local time, November 10 in all territories, except Asia, who get theirs at 12 a.m. November 11th, and Japan, midnight of December 17.
Why don't we get preloading?
I don't know, man. What? Fuck.
Surely that's just a toggle on and off.
Surely. Well, they do it in Europe. They do it in America. Not sure about Asia, but the big nations do it. I don't understand. You know, if anyone's going to hack the bloody system files and everything, it's going to be a smart American as opposed to us bogans. You know, there's going to be nothing to gain from a preload over here.
No,
but yeah, so you could be downloading in the vicinity of 30 gig if you buy digital, and you can kiss your day one gameplay goodbye unless you're on the 5% of Australia with fast enough cable or NBN.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they do a midnight release, and I'll be straight into it. I'll go down and grab it, and I've already worked out with the wife and the kids. I'm going to shut the door for 2 days and have food delivered to me. So I've just got to do a few favours in between now and then and keep my nose clean. And I'm going to have a big Fallout session.
Well, oh, you can let me know how it goes.
All right, next up, one of the first jail times for a Swatter. So Matthew Toles, 22-year-old from Wethersfield, Connecticut, is facing a year in jail for his role in a series of swatting calls made last year.
Nice.
So in total, Toles was found to have participated in 6 swatting calls, including one to a major university of Connecticut last year. It resulted in the entire campus being shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And so a federal judge has ordered Toles to report to prison on November 5 to serve for 1 year and 1 day. And he has gone on to describe that swatting is not a schoolboy prank, it is a federal crime. These hoaxes have expended critical law enforcement resources and caused severe emotional distress for thousands of victims. Fucking take my hat off to it, because people can potentially die. These dudes are trained to look after us in grave situations. So they're going to be pretty twitchy, you would imagine, SWAT and all that. But, yeah, it's a pretty serious crime, correct?
Oh, I agree, absolutely. I think a year as well is probably fitting punishment. I mean, obviously, if you're going 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's probably a bit ridiculous, but it's for a first conviction, I think that's a decent stint in prison. Yeah. As long as he does the time. I hated how they say a year and he'll do like 6 weeks.
Suspended sentence,
yeah.
But if someone had died as a result of that, they could be up on involuntary manslaughter, at very least. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, then that's a different story. So they're very lucky with outcomes that way. But
lucky that the guys from the SWAT patrols and all that are bloody educated and well trained.
Yeah.
Rightio. So October 21st is a big day in nerd history. Apparently, 2015. I admittedly had to Google why.
Did you?
I figured it, but I wanted to reconfirm so I didn't sound like a total douche.
Yeah, fair enough.
And so, October 21st, 2015, in nerd history is when the DeLorean landed in Back to the Future. And to commemorate this, Rocket League is spitting out a little bit of DLC where you can actually use the DeLorean in-game.
Tops.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And the wheels even fold up under when you jump and you turbo. Yeah.
Is it free?
No, it's not.
Oh, boy.
It has a retail price of $199 US, so we're probably looking at $325.
I'm buying it.
Yeah, me too. And if Rocket League DLC in the past is anything to go by, it'd be, as I said, they're not going to push it out to $5-6 for a car. So it's going to be pretty good value.
Nice.
And I'll get it. Of course I'll get it. I still play enough Rocket League to justify that. So we don't get the hoverboards, but we'll get the DeLorean.
That's cool. What other really cool iconic cars could they bring in? Oh, imagine if they brought Kit.
Knight Rider?
Kit from Knight Rider. That would be sick. That's the next one. You get that, Psionics? Get onto it. Get some sort of special anniversary date and give us that one too. That would be cool. What else is there? Can you think of any others?
The Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, yes.
General Lee.
The General Lee. That'd be another good one people would pay for.
Yeah, I'd pay for that also.
What else?
What's his name from Cars? Rory?
Rory.
Rory the racer car. No.
That's different.
Too many kids. I've had too many kids.
Yeah. It's limitless. All the different famous cars.
Mater.
What's that?
Lightning McQueen and Mater.
Who's Mater?
The tow truck from Cars.
Oh, right.
Like, tomato without the tur.
Right. But anyway, that's really cool DLC, I think.
Yeah, I concur.
Nice. Anything else, Red?
That's the news, man.
That's it for the news. So how about we go into What's That Sound?
Sounds good. See what I've done there.
I think it's time we stop. Children, watch that sound. Everybody look what's going down.
All right, this for What's That Sound, we'll have to cover off on a couple of weeks ago. We had Battle Arena Toshinden. You guys said Soul Calibur, I think it was. Is that right?
Yes, I said Soul Calibur.
Because of the swords and all that sort of stuff. But no, Battle Arena Toshinden. Have you ever played that one?
No, I have seen it though.
That was a cool game back on the original PlayStation.
Yes.
That's what that one was. So,
Stumped the message you did.
Yeah, look, do you want to hear this week's?
Absolutely.
This one, now, if I've got to predict if you'll get it or not, it's a maybe. It's quite short and very vague, but let's see how you go. That's it.
Oh, wow. I've heard it before.
Sounds familiar.
Everyone's going to go, oh, Last of Us.
Because of the guitar. That is not Mr. Santos Santanolala, or whatever his name is.
Juan.
Whatever his Mexican name is. Sorry about that. Do you want to hear it again?
Yes, please. Oh, so I heard that. I really have.
You have?
I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can think, whether it's just me because I like my music, I'm almost humming what it's going to do after that.
Yeah.
The other obvious one, which is not going to be, would be Red Dead Redemption.
No.
No, that's me out.
No, all right then. No worries. If anybody thinks they know what that sound is, then send us a message to our Facebook page and tell us what you think it is. And if you're correct, we'll send you guys a free game. I do give points for trying, though. Sometimes you'll score a game even though you might be wrong. So send us an answer if you think you know what it is. That'll also tell me that you've been listening, and I like rewarding our listeners with free stuff. So give that a go. All right, well, that's What's That Sound. Let's move on to this week's Gaming University and get all skilled and shit in the world of Doom. Alright, so Gaming University, Doom. Let's get straight into this one, no mucking around. The name Doom came from Tom Cruise.
Oh, really?
Am
Probably
I having
one of the
you
better
on?
things to ever come from him then.
Yeah, get this. I didn't know this, but the programmer, John Cormack, said in an interview with the site Doomworld that the game's title was inspired by a scene in The Colour of Money in which Cruz's character pulls out his custom Q case at a pool hall and he says, "What do you have in there?" asks someone, and he says, "Doom," with a cocky grin. And that was the resulting carnage, blah, 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 goes on from there. And they loved that. How weird and left of centre is that? Just very strange out of the blue, but they just liked the fact that he said the word Doom, and they end up going with Doom. They had a couple of other names in mind. One of them was Attack of the Attackers.
Oh, there's the 80s.
id Software decided that was a bit too silly, so they kept Doom. Good on them, I think.
Yeah.
All right, they've gone for the next one here, next point here. Alien meets Evil Dead. Doom's inspiration came from a mixture of the Alien movie with the classic Evil Dead. The developers included chainsaws and shotguns, which are staples of the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah, I can see that.
So there you go. You can tell that there was a bit of inspiration there. Next one, moving along here. There was a very small team involved for Doom. Can you guess how many people were in the credits?
5.
There's more than that.
17.
Close, 15. Only 15 people involved in the creation of the original Doom. How many people do you reckon are involved in making next year's Doom?
God, what, 11,000?
Oh, geez, I don't think that many, dude.
I don't know.
I reckon they'd probably be in the vicinity of, this is only an educated guess, but I would think that there'd be probably 500 people on that team.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And 15 people made the original one. That'd be good to work out, actually. Let's see if we can Google now and see if we can find an estimate. How many people are making Doom to 2016? Yeah, that's too hard. Let's move on.
Moving on.
Let's just say I was right. Okay, the next one here. This one's for the metalheads. Red, is that you?
I love metal, mate, yes.
So, composed by a man named Bobby Prince. The soundtrack for the first two games, first two Doom games, were inspired by such bands as Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, Pantera, Akadaka, Alice in Chains, and Black Sabbath.
Right. You've just listed about 8 bands in the top 10 of the 80s.
Yeah, I reckon. And apparently the game's soundtrack, some of the songs were so similar to the actual metal songs from those bands that if you have a search on YouTube, some people have made some comparisons to some of the songs. I don't know how they found which songs are similar to which, but anyway, have a YouTube search around, see if you can find something like that if you're interested. Next one, the tribute to the metal. So the Doom's levels have shared names with popular bands. So I don't think they've actually given away which levels were named what. I think it's all in the coding. Like in the background, you can see, like if you did like a level editor or a coding editor or something,
yep.
You'd see the names. There were levels called House of Pain, The Living End, Nirvana, Genesis, Skinny Puppy, and Slayer. Now, for the next one, there's a bit of a nod to black humour, whereas Doom 2 was released in what year, Red? Just a bit of trivia for you.
I don't know.
In the 90s?
94?
Absolutely correct. The same year that Kurt Cobain shot himself with a shotgun.
Oh.
So the level dubbed as Nirvana obviously had a shotgun available at the start of the level.
That's pretty funny.
Ooh, ouch, that one's got to hurt. Too soon? No, not too soon. That was a long time ago now. Next one, last point I've got here. The main character had no name. So I think he was just known as Doom Guy.
Yeah, probably.
So he didn't have a name for the longest time, and John Romero explained that this helped make the first-person sci-fi horror more immersive. Yeah, fair call.
It was you. Yeah.
But with the release of Knee Deep in the Dead, which is a Doom series novel, the protagonist gained the name of Flynn Taggart. So he had the nickname Fly. So Flynn Fly Taggart was his name given in those graphic novels. There you go. Or comics, as a lot of people like to call them. But that's it. Have you learnt a little bit there about the Doom universe and how it all works?
I have, because Doom was one of the most inspirational games as me as a young tacker.
Yeah, man.
I can handle horror movies now because of shit like that.
Essentially, today we call them first-person shooters. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, I think we referred to games more of Doom clones. What type of game's that? Oh, it's like Doom.
Yeah, Quake. It's like Doom.
It's like Doom. Heretic. It's like Doom. Hexen.
Rise of the Triad.
Rise of the Triad. It's like Doom. And then people knew what you were talking about because everybody's played Doom. So there you go. All cool. Gaming University complete. Red?
Yes, mate.
Give us a shout, brother.
I will, and I've got a bit of an extended one today, so you're going to have to just bear with me for a moment. Rightio. First and foremost, you and I, Luke, we kicked off a video series earlier this week for YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some decent input from Mike Kearings, David John and Matt Turvey on the video. We do appreciate it. It's something we're exploring and something we're super excited about, and it's good to see that some of our more passionate followers are getting around us and having a comment on them and agreeing, disagreeing, because that's basically why they're there. And also, here's the long list. People will be engaging us while we're at the EB Expo, so really quickly, one of the biggest supporters of all time, Rusky Big Musky, thanks mate.
Cheers, Rusky.
Stephen Pratt, Ross Mark goes in the same boat, Daniel Ray, even my mum. Oh my god, my mum.
Your mum did comment.
Yeah,
thanks, Red's
just a
mum.
whole bunch of X's. Yeah, my wife called me Red.
I had to unhide that because it automatically hid it blocked that comment because it was all just X's. So I had to unhide it.
Thanks, man. My wife actually calls me Red on the page. Why won't you call me it in real life? I don't know. No,
be honest. You don't want her to call you Red in real life. You just wanted to call you that in bed.
Yeah, or chef. I'll handle.
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. Oh, chef. Best cream custard pie ever.
Suck on my chocolate salted bowl.
Jeremy Peterson, and last but not least, a big special mention to Dale, the bearded ass Asian Templeton. I got to meet him. He also put some pictures up on the Facebook page of his collection to make us all jealous, and proceeded to say, well, that's not all of it. I need more room. It's like, well, fuck you, man, but congratulations. And it was a pleasure to meet you and shake your hand, and I felt like I already knew you. It's like, play games and you do get to know people, but to put a name to the face and a face to the name, it was really cool, so I appreciate that. And also the special mention to you, Luke. You put us all up, you fed us all, you got us all to the expo, and Sean did also, but, as a team, but you gave us somewhere to live for a weekend, and that made it all the more possible, and I really appreciate it. So big shout out to the whole Aussie Gamers community, and it's been a really wicked fortnight in my gaming life, and I appreciate it.
Not a problem at all. It's great having you guys. And I've got to mention, now this is taking nothing away from yourself, Red, but Nick and the little things that he did, old Nico, while staying at my place. We ran out of toilet paper because there was about 7 blokes at one stage all doing our business without going into too much detail. So I went to the shops and did a little bit of a shop, bought some toilet paper and some food, stuff like that. And I got back and he greeted me at the front of the house, promptly took the groceries off me and proceeded to unpack them and put them all away the way that they were normally. So I didn't even realise. I've got out and seen that he had the toilet paper all stacked away like they were before. And I remember another occasion when Nick calls out, Hey, Luke, have you got any more coffee? Because the coffee had run out in the coffee jar. And I said, yeah, I've got a big tin of it that I just sort of fill up the coffee jar with.
Yeah.
And I gave it to him, expecting him to just make his coffee.
Make coffee, yeah.
Filled up the coffee jar and put it back and put everything away. Mate, what a gentleman. Such a good bloke.
Yeah. That's because I wouldn't go in your kitchen.
Well, yeah, you've got some weird, stupid phobia, which I think it's not really a phobia. I think it's just an excuse you use to be lazy. Oh, no, I don't want to impose. I don't want to look in your cupboards. I don't want to go into your fridge. Fuck off, can't you just want me to get it for you? You stay here longer than... If you stay overnight in my house, you're as good as living here. You can get it yourself.
Make your own fucking coffee.
If you come over for dinner or a couple of hours, you're labelled as a guest, and I'm happy to wait on you. any longer than a few hours, and you're fending for yourself. Fuck it, you can make me a coffee. Oh dear, and you guys also looked after me when I was on my deathbed as well, so I appreciate that.
Fuck yeah, that was a big downhill slope.
So thank you to you, Red, Nico, Jason, Repremier, Pat Snoogans, my brother Steve, Sean, Thorncliff. I'm missing someone.
Are you?
Am I missing someone?
Don't think so.
Fucking
Someone's going to be butthurt if you have.
Yeah, I reckon. There was another person. No?
Surely not. Nah.
I think I've got everyone. Oh well. Fuck them. Well, that's it. That's the show. I think now, because Sean's not here, I'm going to have to do the bloody outro. You know how much I love doing this. Okay, we're done. Thanks a lot. Subscribe to us.
Copy and paste it from last week.
Yeah, I could just do that. You can listen to this show on iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. They're the best way to get us. Twitter, AussieGamers12 is where you'll listen to us on there, or watch our tweets tick by. Twitch.tv, search for Aussie Gamers TV. We don't do a lot of streaming of late, but in a few months' time I will have NBN, and there'll be streams, my friend. There will be streams. If you wish to send us some sort of snail mail, send us through some games that you might want us to use as prizes, or send us some pictures that you've drawn, or whatever you want. Send us some snail mail to PO Box 130, Cranebrook 2749. We'll be happy to have a go at that. Although anything you do send, just make sure you're not too keen on getting it back, because we can't return stuff. We also have a website where we have frequent news, reviews, etc. thought pieces. The website is www.aussiegamersexpress.com. Now, just for some people who are unsure, Aussie is spelt with the two S's, so it's AUSSIE, as opposed to the way Ozzy Osbourne spells his name, and things of the like. And that'll do, I think. I can't really think of anything else to mention. YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. Just search for Aussie Gamers Express on YouTube. We always put heaps of videos up there. There's quite a selection there. The podcast is up there if you like, if that's an easier way for you to listen to us. There'll always be a YouTube version of the podcast. We've just started our new Aussie Gamers Express Presents video series. There's one video up there at the moment, which is about, what was it about? Pre-orders. Thank you. See, I don't work very good without notes, and I'm just winging the shit out of this right now. And we'll have another one up soon. And next week's podcast is obviously going to be a big special one, episode 100, and we're going to have a good show planned for that one. So check us out for that as well. I'm struggling. I've got nothing else to say. You got anything else to say, Red?
I've been Red.
And I've been LewkOne.